Hey guys, welcome to the NFL Rumors Daily video. We're glad to have you here with us to go over all your NFL news and rumors. We'll get everything started with some interesting news. Jim Irsay has asked the NFL to investigate the Commanders for checking up on Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck, as we know, retired in what a lot of people would consider the prime of his career. So Andrew Luck he still belongs to the Colts. So nobody could go and talk to him because that would violate the rules, and could possibly mean a draft pick or more, right? So Andrew Luck, it seems like the Commanders had thought about going there, and one of the reporters there mentioned it. So Jim Irsay has asked the NFL to investigate any doings with his former quarterback Andrew Luck. So interesting stuff there as we start off the show today. So some big news as well. Black Friday, they're going to be the first ever NFL Black Friday game. So that's going to be on Amazon. The whole NFL schedule will be put out on Thursday. You'll be able to see it there where everybody will be playing. Everybody knows who the teams are playing. They're home and away, but they don't know when. So we'll find out when everybody's playing. One of those things that is expected is Aaron Rodgers, from what I'm hearing today, is actually going to get a bunch of primetime games. We'll tweet that out a little bit later, but he's going to get a bunch of primetime games from what we're hearing early on. The Denver Broncos today re-signed Kareem Jackson to a one-year deal. That's per Adam Schefter. The free agent safety going back to Denver. We want to talk about Brett Farve a little bit in the news. Brett Farve, it seems like, got into the media, the news media there. He grabbed some national headlines for saying that for people to boycott Fox News until they bring back Tucker Carlson. So a little bit of news there from the former Packer legend Brett Favre. Andy Reid had some things today. He confirmed Donovan Smith was going to be at left tackle, and Jawan Taylor is going to be at right tackle for the Chiefs. So Patrick Mahomes is going to have two new offensive tackles this year as they're getting ready to get in the OTAs and where they're going to be at, and it'll be interesting to see how they develop with Mr. Mahomes there. One of the things, Nolan Smith, who was considered a steal of the draft by most, I actually thought he could go in the top 10. It was that good at Georgia. The Eagles, Nolan Smith said that he can't wait to pick the brain of his own Reddick. And everyone that's talked to Nolan Smith thus far thinks eventually he could be a leader as early as next year on this team. So this could end up being a great pick for the Eagles. Isaiah Pacheco played in the Super Bowl with a broken hand and torn labrum. We reported that a couple days ago. It's getting a lot of headlines today as well. He had 830 yards and 5 touchdowns his rookie season. He's got a lot of potential to really be a great running back for the Chiefs, but played with that broken hand and torn labrum. Done some big things even there with that injury for the Chiefs. As we talk about one of the best draft moments, in my opinion, was when Quentin Johnson said, "Mom, I don't want you working no more. Right? I don't want you working another day." Great young man he seems. And, these moms mean a lot to these young men on Mother's Day coming up. So definitely a lot of people's put that out there. And we're talking even about Lamar, right? Lamar Jackson gave his mom a big kudos as well. So Nick Foles addressed his future after release from the Colts. He said, "Almost every year of my career, I've almost retired." A lot of people speculated that he might end up with the Eagles. Not sure on that. Even the Panthers, there's a lot of speculation that he even could went there. So we'll have to see if Nick Foles decides to move on or he ends up retiring. So we'll have to look at that. One of the big stories this weekend is Mekhi Becton's major transformation, as reported by ESPN. He went down from 400 pounds to 342 pounds, a dramatic 58-pound weight loss to get ready for the season. It was an interesting thing that it seemed like the Jets and him had a little issues over his weight. He's really worked hard to get it down there with the team. So dramatic. If you ain't had a chance to look at that dramatic transformation, check that out on our Twitter page. It's something else for sure. Uh, the Chiefs, some more Chief news here. Kadarius Tony, the Chiefs think he could be their next potential number one. I mean, he was highly regarded for the Giants, highly regarded, and it seemed like the injuries happened to him. He couldn't get back on the field, or maybe with the new ownership, with the new regime coming in New York. Not sure if he found his way there, but they ended up trading him to Kansas City last season. So looking like Kadarius Tony, could end up being the number one for KC. So something to watch out for there. Want to congratulate Justin Fields over the weekend. He's graduating from Ohio State. Big kudos as well from Ricky Jackson today, as he has graduated at 65 years old. So big kudos for those guys. Interesting over the weekend as well, the Buccaneers' Bruce Arians believed that Baker Mayfield was better than any quarterback that he could have picked in the NFL draft. Interesting stuff there, right? Baker, he was a first-round pick, number one overall to the Browns, very highly sought after, and now Bruce Arians feels that same way. So it'll be interesting to see if Baker can really live up to that guy that he was picked with the number one pick with the Bucs. Zach Ertz, this is a speculation a long time ago. I remember so long ago, guys, people was hitting us up hard over this. It's like, no, that's not going to happen. This is wrong news. You're reporting wrong news. The Bills are not interested in Zach Ertz. Actually, Zach Ertz said yesterday that he was almost traded to the Bills. He said yesterday that the Eagles almost traded him to Buffalo instead of Arizona. So, indeed, it comes right from Zach Ertz himself that the Bills were definitely in the game to try to land Zach Ertz. A lot of multiple scouts feel Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best wide receiver prospect since Detroit Lions' Calvin Johnson. I honestly think that too. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. I think teams will do everything to trade up to be able to get the number one pick to draft him because he's a game-changing wide receiver, to be honest. And I think a lot of teams will do everything they can to pick him. Rich Kamini, I hope I've got his name right here. He wrote over the weekend, Quentin Williams are not close to an agreement on the extension. It'd be very interesting if the Jets are able to make that work for them. They got a lot of people to pay right now. They got some future contracts coming up with Sauce Gardner. Garrett Wilson's going to be some future deals that they got to come up with on those first picks. Got to make Aaron happy. A lot of different moves. Got a lot of good defensive players on there as well. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to keep Quentin Williams. One of the things that happened as well this weekend, Van Jefferson said he has been working with Matt Stafford this offseason. They didn't even get to play a single play together last season. So Van Jefferson, very happy to be working with this quarterback. Everybody says Matt Stafford's looking really good right now. So we'll throw you a tweet a little bit later out on that, what we've seen and heard. So keep on the lookout for that. Patrick Mahomes is currently the 7th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. The Chiefs are looking at his contract this offseason. I don't know if a deal will get done, but that's the rumor right now. But, if nothing else, I'm sure they'll look at his deal and see what they can do for next season. The Packers, Mercedes Lewis wants to go back to the Packers. He had a chance, we have heard, to go to the Jets, but did not. And a lot of people on the team wants him back, that veteran presence, back to Green Bay. I think he would really help those young tight ends that they drafted if they brought him back. So it would be very interesting to see there. Seattle Seahawks front office just keeps on doing it. They got Witherspoon, Smith, Nigba at the draft. So, another outstanding draft by Seattle. Done some big things with the Russell Wilson trade. So Seattle's been really, really doing some really good stuff. Also, a rumor over the weekend, and it looks like it was reported as well from CBS, that the Falcons and the Rams had a little interest in A.J. Green before he ended up retiring. It seems like, A.J. went ahead and retired. Maybe he felt that was the right decision for him. But it would have been interesting there he played in Georgia. So if he went back to Atlanta, he would have been playing in front of the same people that he played with around in college. And also, if he went to the Rams, he would have played with his college quarterback, Matthew Stafford. So, some interesting news there. As we stay with Atlanta just for a second, a lot of people feel that Bijan Robinson might have been a reach, but he will really develop the young quarterback Ritter, so and give him an outlet. And remember, just like we was talking about, a running game is a young quarterback's best friend. So, I think Bijan Robinson is a game changer at the running back position. Really hate this for Kevin King. I know he gets a lot of slack. A lot of people thinks he's not living up to that pro ability, but I'm going to stop that just for a second and say we hate it for him. He suffered a ruptured Achilles while prepping for an NFL comeback. So really hate that, and we wish him prayers to get better there. Really do. One of the things that happened this weekend, Peyton Manning really had some great things to say about George Pickens, talking about what he did and what an incredible player he was. So George Pickens, I agree too, from Georgia. He is somebody that I think a lot of people looked over, but I think Pittsburgh Steelers have a good one there. Bill Belichick reportedly tried to mess around with the Jets a little bit when they made that trade to the Steelers, and that way the Jets wanted Broderick Jones reportedly, so Bill Belichick did not let that happen. The Ravens reportedly Marcus Peters is still on their wish list to bring in. Don't know if they can get a deal done, but we'll see what happens there with Marcus Peters. The J.C. Jackson, he was a big, highly touted free agent from the Chargers. He said he's looking to return from his injury at 110%. So, very good stuff there, right? And so, looks like that's what we had, a lot of that happening in the league. A lot of different things happening this weekend. Glad to bring you news. We actually got to do our first ever space. Something that me and Tanner had thought about for a while, but now we actually did it. So our first ever space this weekend. Hope you enjoyed it. We had about 100, but for our first one, maybe about 165, 185 people join. So, happy about that. A lot in the last podcast on all of our platforms had around 3,500 views. So really appreciative of everybody that tuned in for that as well. We expect to have some more guests on through the off season as we're working on that. But we thank you for tuning in today. And I want to say we're really happy with everybody really showing the support that they have. We really appreciate it. And make sure that you hit your subscribe button. And make sure anything you'd like for us to talk about, or just anything question you have in general, make sure you leave it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And make sure you turn your notifications on for our Twitter. Make sure you turn your notifications on for the YouTube channel. Make sure you go over to follow. Make sure you go over to Twitter and give us a follow. Thank you again. We will see you again tomorrow with another video to update you on all the news and rumors from around the NFL. Remember, it's schedule weekend, guys. We'll try to throw some rumors out there as we hear them. Have a good one.